how I got a job for an NBA team. And honestly, I think my job was one of the coolest jobs. I got to be down on the court every single game with players, coaches, and celebrities. And I loved every second of it, just like I love when I get a new subscriber. Shameless plug. Seriously, every time I see that number goes up, it excites me thinking that I have a new person out there wanting to see me. So drop a like down below and tell me, what NBA team would you want to work for? So to answer the question everyone wants to hear, what NBA team did I work for and what did I do? Everyone who has known me for the past 6 years knows that I worked for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Every single home game, I was up there working passionately at the job I loved most and for the team I loved. The next question, what did you do to get the position you had? How did I start out there? Well, to best answer how I got the position I have is to go back and tell you how I got my foot in the door. How did I start there? Back in 2016, I had just graduated high school and I was going off to college. However, I didn't have a job and I was really needing one. So I looked, and honestly, I found some, but none of them were fun. So I didn't tell my parents I found any. I didn't want to serve, I didn't want to cook, I didn't want to do manual labor. I didn't want to work some pencil pushing desk job that paid $7.50 an hour. What I did was want to have fun. And that's when I was scrolling through Facebook one day and an ad popped up to be a hype man for the Oklahoma City Thunder, aka Storm Chaser. I didn't fully know what a hype man entailed, what the job would be, but when I read the description, it said, you have to be energetic, check. You have to be fun, check. You get to be down on the court every single home game. I knew that I had to have that job. The thought of being paid to go to the Thunder games was crazy to me, seeing how I'd only been to a handful of NBA games my entire life. So I applied and I knew I had to do whatever it took to get in the door. So I showed up to auditions. I was extremely excited. And this 7-foot dude came out and was like, yo, bro, I think you got the wrong place. I was baffled. What do you mean I got the wrong place? Went back to my car. I had actually showed up a week early. So another week goes by and I show up. There's a lot more cars, a lot more people waiting outside. It made a lot more sense. And to be honest, the audition process was super awesome, but also pretty intimidating. They started off having around 60 of us just hanging out, talking, waiting for auditions to get started. Then we played games. Yeah, literally games. We divided up into teams. We played a basketball game. We played rock, paper, scissors. And then one of my favorites, we made an improv game. And that's where I made one of my great friends named Gus. If you're watching this, Gus, I still have feelings. And to my surprise, I got the job. I was stoked. I was extremely excited. I was more than happy. So what was being a storm chaser like? If I had to describe it in a few words, it was gloriously challenging. Anyone who had been to a Thunder game has seen a storm chaser if they realized it or not. They were walking up to people, making connections before the game starts. They're in live shots. And just about every time out, they have their hands on something. And they're also hyping the crowd again and again and again. And just like they promised, I was down on the court just about every game. And although I love that position, I knew I would want to quickly grow inside of the company. I would want more responsibility on the game day entertainment operations. And that brings me to my associate days. Making the jump from hype man to entertainment associate was one that many people have done before me. And I was warned it could come with some challenges. I was no longer supposed to be grabbing attention and putting it on me, running around yelling, no more spotlight. And let me tell you, that transition, it was easy. It was like when Prince Charming slips Cinderella's shoes on. It was like when you get home from a work trip and you finally get to sleep in your own bed. It was like when Cookie Monster finally gets to eat cookies after PBS forced him to eat veggies. You get the picture, but I can say that position fit like a glove. No, it didn't come flawlessly without any mistakes, but I can say I had the two best bosses to be able to teach me the ropes and to help me out along the way. So what is an entertainment associate? Well, every game we would divide out all the tasks we had to do in between 2 to 4 of us. So from everything happening like the national anthem, Rumble, running his flag, all the game promotions like timeouts, half court contests, and even stuff like halftime. The amazing team I was a part of and we would coordinate all of it, making sure everyone felt very comfortable and knew what they were doing. Everyone needed to be in the correct place at the correct time, ready to go. It's messy, ugly, and beautifully glorious. A lot of people get stressed out in this line of work, but honestly, that is where I find my most peace. When you're in the midst of chaos and you have literal seconds to figure out what is the right move, and that job is one of the best things that ever happened. And the reason I'm making this video is because I hear so many people say my dream job, insert whatever it is. And a lot of those people say working for the NBA, and they make it sound like it's a fantasy, some sort of fairy tale that's far off, that's unrealistic. Was I ever full-time there? No. But I feel like if I stuck it out, I could have gotten a full-time position in a different department. Just one I wasn't as passionate about. So I just want to say, whatever your dream is, that dream job that you want to do, I would encourage you to chase it. That's what I'm doing here, making these videos. People think I'm ridiculous to spend hours and hours and hours every week just to produce content for you guys. But I'm passionate about it and I love it. So as always, I'm Rad Dad Rob. It would mean the world to me if you liked and subscribed.